Happy Saturday, everyone. I hope you're doing well and in great spirits. Man, I just got like the best compliment. It was sincere, it was from the heart, and it really touched me. So there's a carniceria I go to. It's my regular carniceria. They have the best flank steak for making carne asada. It's marinated and they sell it as ranchera. Bomb. So I go to get some ranchera, some chicken breast, some salsa, some lime, some cilantro, and onion. I already had tortillas, and I was gonna make tacos. So I walk in, and when I go there, sometimes it's like Norm going to Cheers. Everybody's like, "Hey, Kyovale," and it's all these greetings, "How you been?" Whoopity whoop whoop. Even though I go there often, the owner and his wife are really welcoming to me, and their sons are already grown men, full beards. They work there all the time too, and that's who I talk to the most. So I go in, and the son's like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" He comes over, says hi, and he says, "Have you seen A Million Miles Away?" And I'm like, "I started watching it, but I paused so I could watch it with my kids." He says, "Man, that movie's dope." Um, and he's from Michoacan because I know the restaurant, the carniceria family's from Michoacan too. And he goes, "When I watched it, man, that dude reminded me of you." And that was such a huge compliment because I know they don't want nothing from me. It just came out because that's what he genuinely felt. And I see how Jose Hernandez is celebrated by his community and people, both in Michoacan and in the Central Valley. And that's something I think noble to aspire to be celebrated by your people, not because you have an ego and work for that, but because they believe you've genuinely made things better for them. Now, I don't claim to have the talent this Vato has in his finger or have inspired people anywhere near he has. It just felt good to hear that compliment. But I will say this, in the part of the movie that I did watch, I also saw myself in Jose Hernandez, the NASA astronaut. After graduating in the movie, it shows him going to his engineer job, his first one, and it's at Lawrence Livermore Labs. I don't know if they have a lot of offices. I believe I've been to their offices in Richmond, which are next to the California Department of Public Health, and I was there dropping off some samples for round robin laboratory testing. Round robin testing is when they send the same material to a bunch of labs and then get the results back to make sure that everybody's results are close. And if someone's aren't, they're considered an outlier, and then an investigation needs to be done as to why their measurements are off from everyone else's. It's a lot of scientific, technical people, highly educated people working there. And it shows him pulling up and he's blaring Los Tigres del Norte, Contrabando y Traición, which is translated to contraband and betray. It's a song about narco trafficking. He's pulling into the parking lot of Lawrence Livermore and he's blaring, Contrabando y Traición, salieron de San Isidro, procedentes de Tijuana, tenían las llantas del carro repletas de hierba mala. And he's like singing it, he's all into it. The music's blaring. And in the video, in the movie, you see like these white folks with their suitcases, dressed, professionally, looking at him like, what the hell is this guy doing? Or, who let this guy in? Like, really tripping out off of that because it's not how they conduct themselves. They're more inclined to Western culture, which has an orderliness attached to it. I want to say ordinary, but it's not ordinary. It's orderliness attached to it. They have this sense of order. And this engineer pulling into their parking lot, blaring narco trafficking music, is clashing with their sense of order. They're all looking at him weird. And then he's still like, he parks and he sits there just singing, enjoying the music, feeling it. And those aren't his values. He's studied hard to be an engineer. He wants to be an astronaut. He does not want to be a narco trafficker. He just likes the music. And that's where I saw myself as him because, at least once a week, I am pulling into a parking garage that is mostly filled with scientists and engineers and PhDs and highly educated folks. And I'm blaring my music. And sometimes it's Los Tigres del Norte, El Carro Rojo, Contrabando y Traición. Those are pretty much the two basic ones I listen to. I'm not a fan of the rest of them. Other Tres Anim, all that shit, it's not the old style corridos that I like. It went too far in my opinion. But I like some Tigres del Norte, and I blare those. And if not those, I'm blaring Sibo, I'm blaring reggae, I'm blaring Leonard Skinner, That Smell. I run the gamut, but I'm blaring it, and I'm singing it, and I'm into it. And these people who are professionals are looking at me like, man, do you realize how... Sometimes I feel like they're looking at me like, do you realize how dumb you look? Do you realize how uncivilized you look? Do you realize how underclass you look? Pulling in here, blaring your music, and singing at the top of your lungs in a setting for scientists. And in that sense, I saw myself in him. But the other part, it was really meaningful to hear and to see that, my community, at least the people at the carniceria, think favorably of me. That's important to me. I don't want everyone to like me. I don't need everyone to like me. And, a friend to everyone is a friend to no one. So when it is people that, I respect and admire, it feels good to hear something like that the feeling is mutual. And so I'll definitely watch the movie this weekend. I'm also looking forward to watching Cassandro 2023. There's two of them. The 2023 version is with Gael, a Mexican actor who's a pretty phenomenal actor. I first saw him in Amores Perros, which was, him trying to get out the hood by, pitting his dog against other dogs and betting on it. It's a good movie. It won a lot of acclaim. It is gritty. So if you haven't seen it, Amores Perros, you'll probably like it. And I like him as an actor. So he plays a luchador in El Paso who crosses over to Juarez, and he's not doing good until he embraces becoming an LGBTQ-centric luchador in this macho culture of not only Mexico, but of luchadores. So hyper-masculine culture, and then you got this guy coming in and creating a culture clash of sorts, kind of like pulling into a parking lot full of scientists, blaring your music. And he blows up. And so I like movies that are testaments to the human spirit, and I expect both of these movies are, um, and even if it's like not my culture, when Rudy on the movie Rudy takes the field at Notre Dame for the first time, man, that's like one of the best moments in movie history because of the testament to the human spirit that it highlights. And so, looking forward to seeing the movie. I know it's different than the Cheeto movie, which is more of a overnight Cinderella story after a lifetime of making bad decisions. A Million Miles Away is making all the right decisions and the obstacles you still face. It's not as it appeals, I think, to different kinds of people. A lot of people, who made mistakes and feel like they've lost a lot of time, want to believe there's a solution out there that will allow them to catch up overnight. That is the Cheeto movie. It's a little bit of an overnight success story. Although the guy had to be determined and he had to work at it, but it's a bit of an overnight success story. A Million Miles Away is the guy who did everything right, who didn't go do thug shit because he was doing his calculus, who didn't go, wasn't out there trying to mac the ladies because, he had a physics test coming up, and did everything right, and still doing everything right. It's a 10, 15, 20-year struggle to get to where you want to be. And that doesn't seem to appeal to people as much as I'm going to make it overnight. Anyways, I hope you guys watch it, appreciate it. They came out as part of, Latino Heritage Month. I'm grateful for the movies. I think they do highlight the positivity, positive examples from our community. They show some of the difficulties and societal barriers to achieving success. Even in the Cheeto movie, he's told right off the top, hey, don't talk to those people. They're like gods here. You're just a lowly janitor. And he wasn't a lowly janitor because there is no such thing as a lowly janitor. Everybody contributes. And he had more to contribute than he was seen as being capable of because of his position. So anyways, I'm starting to ramble now. Bringing it back to the point, that was a super duper compliment, man. And I was really grateful for it. Have a good one.